We are live, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to another episode of the Entrepreneur's Evolution. We are here with the amazing Reena Strehle from Australia, Miss Holly Smith from Australia, and Adrian Lea also from Australia, and me
Hello.
from a country called the Netherlands. So here we are. Today we are talking about smart sleeping, and we have tons to tell you about this. If you're watching right now, then please let us know where are you watching from. Please put it in the comments because we are always very curious. What parts in the world do we reach with this show that we do? If you have any questions about how to sleep better, if you have any problems with sleeping, please put them in the chat and we will try to help you. Okay, let's get started. Smart sleeping. What does that mean to me? For me, it actually means making sure I have some kind of quiet ritual that calms me down. I'm in a calm state of mind before I go to sleep. Sometimes I listen to some type of meditation before I go to sleep because it just helps me to sleep more relaxed. And I make sure I turn my phone off and put it beside my bed. So, making sure not watching too many moving, flashing things right before I have to go to sleep because that doesn't help me. I tell the same to my kids, and so I need to be the good role model and do the same thing. So, Reena, what does smart sleeping mean to you?
Well, Tisha, for me, what it actually means is it means peace and harmony of my mind. So, as we all know, we've got so much chatter going on during the day. And for me, it means taking my foot off the accelerator and really unwinding. And the way in which I do that is I try not look at my phone for at least half an hour before I go to sleep. And I try and calm my thoughts down. So, my mind can be like a racing car, and I really have to calm myself down. And, so it's just a matter of controlling those thoughts and helping myself to really unwind and get prepared for a really deep and peaceful sleep. Because for me, sleep is so important. I simply can't function if I don't have the right sleep. I'm just not productive and I can't pay attention and I can't be nice to other people if I don't get a good sleep.
Reena, since we've been friends, have you ever had a poor night's sleep? Because you're just always happy.
Yeah.
You're always smiling. Never grumpy.
Oh, dear. Well, that's because I'm surrounded people by such wonderful people like Holly and Adrian and Titia. They make me smile. So welcome everyone from around the world. It's wonderful to have you here. We're talking about sleep, and I was just trying to explain the way that I prepare myself for sleep. So it's really about taking my foot off the accelerator, managing my thoughts. I also need to ensure that the surroundings that I'm in are really peaceful. And twice a week, what I try and do is I try and get to the gym in the evening because I have a sauna at my gym. And I find the sauna is a wonderful way to actually relax my body and my muscles. And Holly and Adrian would know all about this, being the experts in that field. But I find that relaxation has a huge impact because I find that I actually can't remember my dreams. So I sleep. I can't remember my dreams. So my subconscious mind is fully
at. I recognize that. I have that too. So some nights you do remember your dreams, especially when they are out of the ordinary, and sometimes you just don't remember. So what is that? Why is that, do you think?
Why don't you remember it?
Yeah. What's the difference? So why do you sometimes remember and why sometimes not?
Good question. I don't actually have the exact answer for that, but I think it might depend on, and look, I'm just going to be thrown out there. I'm not a sleep expert at all. I can only speak from experience and from clients and people's experience. But from what I've read recently in an amazing audio book that I've been reading, is that it can all depend on the sleep cycle that you might be in. So, for example, if you wake up before the sleep cycle, like in the middle of a sleep cycle, that can interrupt your memory from your sleep. Whereas if you wake up like when you're ending the sleep cycle, because sleep cycles happen in 90-minute blocks. Correct me if I'm wrong. If anyone's watching this, by the way, I've been known to be wrong, by the way, as well. So you can always check out some of the Healthline. I'm pretty sure Healthline is a well-respected and trusted site, and I'm sure there's plenty of blogs and things on that, just in case, I'm wrong here. But yeah, apparently it's 90-minute cycles. So if you wake up in the middle of it, just for example, right, let's just say you have, 5 blocks of 90 minutes and you're just about to start another block of sleep, of deep sleep, that will mean that you'll wake up feeling worse and you probably won't remember what it is that was going on. And who knows, Titia, like it could be because of the timing as well, because apparently between the hours of 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. is like the money hours. That's when like the most recovery for your body happens in those hours.
Really? Okay. That's so interesting because I used to be quite a night owl myself, used to go to bed around midnight. But since a couple of months, I've had a period of time where I was really tired, and I used to go to bed the same time as my kids because that was in the time when during lockdown the kids were at home homeschooling and working from home. That was quite exhausting, that period. And then I used to go to bed the same time as my kids, but since then I've really started to go to bed more early, and I do feel much more rested since I'm doing that. So around 10 p.m. indeed, and I just enjoy it much more, going to bed on time.
That's awesome.
Winning.
One of the side effects of experiencing lockdown, I guess. But every downside has an upside. So
try this. So try this. You know how the recommended, let's just say the recommended amount of sleep is, people give you like a 7 to 9 hours or 8 to 9 hours.
Yeah.
Like if you wake up in the middle of, let's just say, for example, you go, you sleep from 10 p.m. till 5:30 p.m. That's 7.5 hours, which means that's what, five blocks of sleep. Is that right? Yeah. 5 blocks of sleep, which is 5 90-minute cycles. That means if you sleep another 45 minutes, you'll wake up and you'll feel horrible.
Yeah.
But if you get up at that time, right, at 7.5, or if you've, not getting enough sleep, it could be 6, then you'll feel better than what you did if you slept in longer. Does that make sense? So you know how, for example, some people during the Monday to Friday, they'll get up and have a sleep schedule, right? So they'll go to bed at a certain time, wake up at a certain time, and then on the weekends they go, I'll sleep in and I'll catch up and sleep. Well, what happens then is how many times have you felt terrible on the weekends by waking up after 9 hours or 10 hours? It's not 9 hours, but 8.5 hours or 10 hours sleep.
Yeah, you don't necessarily feel more rested. Sometimes it's actually more exhausted.
Yeah, and then Monday comes around and you're like, oh my God, I just don't want to go to work. Because the sleep needs routine. And, the lovely Holly Smith over here knows all about the routines and the structure for the life.
Really?
What are your thoughts on that, Holly?
Well, I've got so much to say. Well, actually, since I've decided that I'm waking up at 4:30 every morning, so far, even on Saturdays, on Sundays, it was a bit different last weekend because I didn't sleep very well and some other things was happening. But I generally, for the next 8 weeks, I'm trialing something for myself, and I'm waking up at 4:30 every single morning. and I'm going fasting and not eating my first meal until 12 because I'm on such low calories. And I'm making sure that I'm getting at least at 7.5 hours sleep every night. So if I make sure I have to go to bed on time. And the funny thing is I wake up, because I've been doing it for about 2 or 3 weeks now, always woke up early, but it was always different timings. I'm finding that when I wake up at 4:30 every morning now, my alarm goes off and I'm like, I feel good. I'm relaxed. I'm not like, oh, I have to go straight back to sleep. But I lay there and I'm like, you know what? I could fall back asleep, but you know what? I also have the energy to get up. And it's it's very different the way your mindset works. But you kind of get to a stage where you know when you wake up, even if it's naturally on a weekend, let's say, you naturally wake up between 4 and 5 o'clock, your body wakes up and you go, oh, look, I could get up, do a bit of housework on a Saturday morning, or I could fall back asleep. And when you do fall asleep and you wake up, you're like, oh, half the day's gone. Plus you feel like crap because your body's out of cycle. So your body is literally like a clock. And when it adjusts to waking up at a certain time, and it doesn't, everything comes out of whack. Your hormones, your chemical imbalance, everything, So that's kind of what I found, and that's why I think structure and routine is so important to have good sleep. And I think we need to remember as well that just because you're having a long sleep, it doesn't always mean it's a good sleep. Quality over quantity. So I think we always need to remember it's better to have a 7.5 hour deep sleep, and sleeping properly. Maybe taking the right supplements and generally being tired as well, rather than going, 9 hours, that was a good sleep. But you can still wake up feeling absolutely exhausted like you didn't sleep at all. So I think the quality of sleep is more important than the quantity.
That was absolute brilliance right there, Holly.
Thank you.
Gold. All about quality.
Yeah, there we go.
Absolutely. Mr. Anchors.
Yes, we have a comment coming in. You want to respond to that, Adrian?
Yeah, our sleeping health totally depends on how we start our day. From exercise and work, 8 hours for professional life onwards, a few hours for friends and family, and automatically go in the bed natural, on time, and get help. Absolute. I reckon we should just stop 100%. This show right now. That was absolute gold, my man. Boom. Couldn't have said it better myself. Gold.
Thank you for your advice. And so I was triggered about what Holly said, taking the right supplements before you go to bed. I know there's so much on the market, obviously. What helps me is the oil right behind me, balance oil. Since I've been taking it, I've noticed I've been sleeping deeper. So then you do talk about the quality, not as much as the quantity, as Holly said. And I think the quality, if you sleep better, deeper, then you are more rested. And we also have something else that may help some people. And Reena, would you care to elaborate on that? That is Cinezino Viva Plus, which is also amazing. What Reena is showing right now. Reena, do you
everyone a natural product with saffron in it. And it really helps with sleep. It's not available in Australia quite yet, but we hope so towards the end of the year. But certainly globally it is available. So we can send you through the product information. But I'd just like to elaborate a little bit more on what Holly was saying about the quality of sleep. It's really important that we try and manage our stress during the day. And for me, what I find and what works for me is that I meditate as well. So I find meditation helps me to reduce my stress levels. It relaxes my mind. So I talked about the chatter. What I do is when I get home from work or, at a certain point in the evening, I do 20 minutes of meditation. And what that does for me is it takes my mind basically to the bottom of the ocean, where there's peace and tranquility and calmness. And I do that with what's known as a mantra. A mantra just means a sound, and it's a learnt technique. It's transcendental meditation. And that really helps me ensure that I have a really good quality of sleep as well, because then what happens is that my stresses are relieved. We all have stresses in life, and it's just a matter of how we manage that stress. So meditation really complements my sleep, in addition to
Yeah.
the balance and the Viva.
And your sauna.
Sauna, yeah, twice a week.
What a good combo.
I think if I might add, ladies, Reena just touches on a very important point. I think getting back to the basics of life, such as like, you know, having a regular sleep routine, which is like more so getting up at the same time every day and getting light as soon as possible.
Yeah.
So like the simple things in life are always the best, I like to say, right? Which is simply get light as soon as possible in the morning. So because that will regulate your sleep-wake cycle. Get moving, right? Train earlier in the day if you can, like training as in physical weight-bearing training. So think about you ladies, if you train, how good do you sleep? Providing you don't do it too close to bedtime, then you might have some issues, but with body temperature and all that. But for generally focusing on nailing the basics first, and then like, you know, not eating too close to bed, giving your body enough digestion time. But it's what you do during the day more so. And then adding, once you've nailed that stuff and you're still struggling, like for most people, the simple stuff like making sure that you stay lean, the more body fat you have, the harder it is on your organs, which means especially for people who have sleep apnea, because they find it challenging for breathing because of too much weight. Those are simple things that you can manage to get a better night's sleep and have general better health and wellness and longevity. And then add your supplements and things like that, which I highly recommend, by the way. Like the Zinzino products are amazing and I use them myself. But more importantly, it's getting those basics right first and then adding those other things on as well to basically, you know, supercharge what you're already doing. And I mean, that's why Reena just is absolutely smiling from ear to ear every day, because she's feeling amazing. She's looking after herself. Same with Titia and Holly. They're always happy because they're focusing on the things they can control that are optimizing their body and mental health.
Yeah.
Therefore, they're going to perform like an athlete every day.
Yeah, that's so good. And I'll just add as well, I remember when I first was starting my fitness journey, that when first thing that actually like made the difference between I had a good sleep or not was cutting out all my processed and preservatives and sugars and just crap. Like cutting out all the foods that aren't whole and nutritious. And that's why I believe in it so much. Just eating whole nutritious foods, you know, preservatives, all your processed stuff, like that is what's causing you to have a bad sleep as well. So a lot, you know, obviously like, you know, different types of like, you know, I think energy drinks and, you know, anything that's got something that's not like, unless it's natural, obviously, caffeine is natural, but everything else that's put in foods that's not supposed to be in there, it's going to obviously do something to your brain and your body and put it out of balance. And I guess that's probably the biggest thing I found was the difference if I had a good sleep or not, was did I eat whole nutritious foods that day or didn't I? You know, did I work out that day or didn't I? So the combination of just eating normal human being food, not full of preservatives, and also eating the right food, like enough food, and working out, I think that's, yeah, going back to basics and you're going to have a good sleep. You should.
We keep it simple. I think it's not that complicated. It's like Adrian said, you know, go back to basic. Eat healthy, move, you know, and reduce stress. I think those are just key elements to having a good night's rest, and also making sure your body recovers from the day it had. And can one of you go into a little bit more about recovery? So what does your body need recovery from, to explain to our audience?
Holly?
Who wants to go into that?
Reena?
Adrian,
okay.
you're the best. You and Holly are the best to answer this one. You're the experts.
You go, Adrian.
All right. Firstly, I just want to say, is it Hafid? Mate, that is an absolute spot on statement. Tell me about your sleep and I can tell you about your health. Boom.
I like that
That
one.
was absolute gold. Look, I'll just very briefly touch on what sleep does for the body. First and foremost, Omar says sauna, swimming, cardio is the best way to gain good deep sleep for hours. Yeah, spot on, exactly. And each, yeah, fantastic. Yeah, boom, sauna, swimming, absolutely love it. You're gonna allow the body to detoxify itself, right? So to repair, recover, depending on whether you've been strength training or not, so it's going to rebuild and recover and process toxins. It's going to clean out any, who knows, like DNA in your body that's like dead. It's whatever it'll do to refresh your body and allow it to, do its thing at the end of the day. Heal the body. I guess that's the simplest way of saying it. But
what about stress, right? Because if I look at myself, I could work out more. I do not work out every day. I could do that more. But I also, like here locally, I have quite a busy job. Many meetings, and it costs me lots of energy, right?
Yeah.
So how does sleep affect that? Like the stress part, because many people, I think, especially many executives, consultants, business people, entrepreneurs, also people who are watching experience that. The busy people that Holly also talks about, they have a lot of meetings and stress, and how can a good night's sleep help them?
Oh, boom. Straight away, help them optimize their hormones. It's going to allow them to wake up a lot, like obviously fresher and more energized, depending on factors such as, one, are they carrying extra body weight around the midsection, around their internal organs? Two, it's going to allow them to wake up with better cognitive function, right? So your body is able to process what's going on in the brain. And also, it's just like rejuvenates the body. Like in a nutshell, unless you raise a great point, Tisha, like regardless of whether you exercise or you don't exercise, generally for most people, they'll have a deeper, better quality sleep if their body has got something to do. In other words, you break your body down, it's got to recover and it's got to repair and get stronger. Same thing for, the mental stress and physical stress of sitting on your chair all day, well, most of the day, not doing any activity and maybe eating probably not the best kind of food as well. Maybe, who knows? But essentially, if your body is not doesn't have the demand, oh, beautiful! We've got the sleep doctor on. So,
perfect timing.
There we go. We're all excited to see Catherine Nixon. We're all just, and we'll get Catherine on, and she can just start sharing some love.
Yeah, we should definitely have a show with you in it, Catherine.
Yeah.
So, boom, you're invited. Let's set it up. I'll have a show with Catherine, the sleeping coach, maybe.
In other words, you got to create demand for the body. A demand for the body to recover and allow to sleep better. So, like a lot of elderly people don't actually, they don't sleep long. Like my parent, I don't know about your parents, but my folks don't sleep a lot. Like they sleep like the 6 hours to 7 hours or whatever, but it's reduced as they've aged as well. Yeah, beautiful. Too much cortisol does not help sleep. That's right.
Yeah.
So that's the stress part. I think we could definitely make another show about this, but we're almost running out of time. So we're going to end the show for today, but I would love to hear any closing comments from you guys. Reena, anything closing to say to our audience about sleeping smart?
Just make sure that you try and manage your stress during the day so that you get a deeper, more peaceful, harmonious sleep would be my key message. And if you don't know how to do that, Catherine Nixon is our expert.
Boom.
Definitely. Holly, any closing comments or tips for our audience?
Just like Adrian said beforehand, go back to the basics, eat whole foods, try and wake up and go to bed at the same time every single day. It will change your life. Like literally you'll have so much energy throughout the day because you'll be sleeping properly and your body will get used to that, and it will become normal to have good sleeps and to wake up with energy. So schedule it in.
Amazing. Adrian, any closing comments?
Closing thoughts. I'm going to go to bed right now in the next probably 15 minutes. So going to wind down. But closing thoughts, you know, like at the end of the day, whatever you're doing now, make it a little bit better. So if you're going to bed at, say, 1 a.m. or 12 p.m., like, for example, Titia said that she was started going to bed earlier and she's feeling better. So she's naturally going to do more of what works and less of what doesn't work. So start small with your sleep, win small, build momentum. 15 minutes at a time.
Amazing.
If you want to just do it nice and easy, happy days.
Great advice. Great advice. Thank you so much. So just to summarize, make sure that you reduce your stress. Like Reena said, have a routine, which is so important, like Holly said. And as Adrian said, you know, start small because then it's most likely to last, and then you can really start changing your health. Thank you everyone so much. Thank you for attending. Please follow these amazing people, Reena, Holly, and Adrian. They're amazing. You're gonna love their content. And we look forward to seeing you again in 2 weeks for another episode of the Entrepreneur's Evolution. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for watching. Bye.